Welcome back to another episode in Pastor Plays Mass Effect. We're right in the middle of Mass Effect 1 in the Legendary Edition. If I remember correctly, we are probably need to spend a little time talking to the crew before we head back out. If you're not already, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you click that little bell so you know when all these videos go live. Yep, let's go see what everybody's up to. We should have Liara on the ship now. Let's check in with Joker first. It's been a while.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
You sure you want that?
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours. Fun.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby.
He's worried about shaving.
No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
How's the ship?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander.
But not Joker.
Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain.
Spell it.
You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
And they really spent a long time on the eyes. Like, you could tell that the textures in the beard isn't that great. The ear looks terrible, but the eyes, making them look very human. They did a great job with that.
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Wrex syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you know, you like the sound of snapping shin bone.
How about that nickname?
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
I was just thinking how much you remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Ooh, Batman reference.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
I need to know more about this Wrex syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive...
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship.
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable.
Whatever you want, Commander.
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the... Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
Alright,
I have
that's
to
good
go.
enough for now.
Alright, see ya.
Oh. Easy XP. See who else we can find. I don't really want to talk to any of these guys just yet. Let's check over here. Check on the dock here.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him
And the
before
lighting's
this
not
mission,
working right in this scene.
but he
Look how
has an
dark I am.
impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
I think I already asked her those questions. Here's Liara. Let's see.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to
She's
get
lit
fine.
just fine. I'm
I
just
was
not.
impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
so am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust
It
you.
means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Do you know why Benezia joined up
I
with
don't
Zero?
understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
None of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her, and this was not like her.
Many years for an
Something
Asari
changed.
could be a very, very long time.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Let me know in the comments if we want to see prolonged sessions of checking in with the crew. It's very important to me. I will obviously do it, but if it's not something anybody wants to watch, then I can edit that out or skip that part. But it also might be a good opportunity for people that aren't playing the game to experience some of this stuff. Rumors.
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not the true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits onto our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Venezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
I thought you always needed another species to serve as one of the parents.
Think about it, Shepard. If we were not able to mate with our own species, we would have died out long before we ever mastered spaceflight and left our homeworld. Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face, it is a great insult among my people. It is possible Venezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
I've forgotten a lot of this. Be curious, anybody watching this wants to comment below who they went through the romance channels with in their other games. It seems like, looking at the trailer for the new game, that that she's going to play that Liara's going to play a very big role in it. It showed her in the scene, and I just wonder if BioWare has to pick sort of a canon ending from all the options through Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 before they complete the next one. I think I followed Liara through the romance options in most of my playthroughs before. I'll probably have to do something different this time.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Venezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
I should go.
That's enough for now.
Goodbye, Commander.
Okay. See what Kaiden's up to.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Is this an official evaluation, Commander? Or off the record?
Alenko, when it's just you and me,
So serious.
consider it off the record.
That's a generous attitude. Okay. I think there's something wrong with all this. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
Tell
It's
me
all right.
about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element 0 in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics, a little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy
Very cool.
around 63 when Kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. And a bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
Then you must have had plenty of time to get to know each other.
Yeah, we'd sit around and bull every night after dinner, play card. There was this girl named Rana, who had a little circle grow up around her. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich. But she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up. I think you'd have liked her.
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same, but things never felt together. Training, you know.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything Kinetics did. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect...
Jump Zero is a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. But that's my own baggage, Commander. No bearing on this.
Alenko, there's no
I
regulation.
appreciate that, Commander. I just don't want you to think that I'm a... Besides, I've got my past squared away.
Okay. Who's back here? Nobody. Let's head downstairs. Oh, hold on. Garrus is up here. Doing his calculations, probably. Nope. Let's head down. There's Garrus. And Wrex and Ashley. Requisitions officer. Let's go down here first. My. I'll talk to the Adams later. Let's go talk to Garrus first. My best bud.
Commander, nice work out there. I knew working with a Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it.
But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
That's quick. That's all right. Let's do Wrex.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
What's your story, Wrex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
You Krogan live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
We'll deal with that later.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's...
I was just making conversation.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting it. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it.
So guarded.
All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth. Every Krogan is infected. Every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan? You ask a Krogan. Would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
So long, Wrex.
Shepard.
All right, Ashley.
Commander, you have a minute to talk?
I keep an open door policy. If you have any concerns, lay them on me.
All right. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vakarian and Wrex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
They may not serve the Alliance, Chief, but they're allies. At least
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.
You don't trust the Alliance's allies?
I'm not sure I'd call the Council races allies. We, humanity, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
Standing up for ourselves
Like
doesn't
racist
mean
on our
standing
hands.
alone.
I don't think we should turn down allies. I just think we shouldn't bet everything on them staying allies. As noble as the Council members say now, if their backs are against the wall, they'll abandon us.
I don't see that as inevitable.
Look, if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human. It's not racism, not really. Members of their species will always be more important to them than humans are.
These seem like deeply held beliefs, Williams. What made you think this way?
My family's defended the Alliance since it was founded. My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
It doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, sir. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation at a space station for training. Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
That's odd. Your record is spotless and your technical scores are exemplary. You should be serving with the...
Anyway, that's why I haven't served with many aliens, Commander.
I come from a military family too. My parents were both Navy. Anybody in your family we might
Couldn't
know?
say, Commander. We probably have a lot in common. You join up to carry on the tradition?
Mainly, I wanted to serve. Protect the Alliance, save
Glad to hear it.
lives.
I'd hate to think you were out here for a free college education.
All right. I can see where your concerns are coming from, Williams. But this is a multilateral mission. You're going to have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. You tell me to kiss a Turian, I'll ask which cheek.
That's cheeky.
Would you kiss anyone I ordered you to?
That depends, sir. If you ordered me to kiss a superior officer, that would be a violation of the regs concerning fraternization. That would make it an illegal order. I'd be required to decline and relieve you of command. Sir.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
Not everyone has a happy family life.
I know, but I'm not gonna bet she's on our side just because Benezia didn't hug her enough. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
We'll talk later, Williams.
All right, I don't remember where Tali is. Let's see if we can find her real quick before this one's over. Is she down here? Oh, there she is.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most... but we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, but some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is in extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births. Though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to... Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
We're democratic.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never... The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought.
Playing with AI never works
One
out.
thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So, the Geth share?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming, each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the but when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more... One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth.
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own home. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim...
It's hard to feel sorry for you.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place. But we did not make it. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
They didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our... we set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted...
Can a captain choose to reject a gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, it's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return it.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Okay.
I should go.
That was a quick crash course in all the crew here. An introduction to everybody we got on the ship so far. we'll call it quits on this video. As we said at the beginning, if you're not already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you hit the bell so that you know when these videos go live. If you're not following on social medias, find us on Instagram, find us on Twitter, find us on Facebook. Follow, subscribe, do everything you can on all those social media so that you know what we're up to and when these videos go live. If you'd like to join the conversation, jump in our Discord. Links to all these things will be showing up at the bottom of this video. And as always, God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.